It's 9:30 a.m. at a coffee shop in Newry, where folks are once again scratching their heads about the latest developments in the Brexit saga. People are following the political drama in London closely. The majority of voters here voted Remain and still want to stay in the EU. Some are enjoying the spectacle.
We're watching the British establishment making fools of themselves in relation to Brexit, reliving imperial glories which unfortunately for them no longer exist. So we get much enjoyment out of it.
But others, like the cafe's owner, are angry. Graham Finnegan has invested a lot of time and money in his new business, but Brexit hangs like the sword of Damocles over his head, and has for a long while.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sick to death of Brexit, to be honest. I'm sick to death of the ineptitude and the arrogance of British governments. I'm sick of David Cameron, Theresa May and Boris the Buffoon Johnson, particularly for people in the north of Ireland.
Outside, big trucks thunder by as Newry lies on a major transport route between Dublin and Belfast. What will become of the free trade of goods? Will border checks be reintroduced? There are many questions, but no answers. Yet some in the cafe support Brexit.
We had an election that said, okay, that's it, we're leaving, and it's sort of prolonged, and it's one excuse after the other. And I wouldn't say I'm Boris Johnson's biggest fan, but he seems to be rocking a lot of boats, and at least he's getting stuff done.
These young bankers worry about the drop in the value of sterling. The weakness of the British pound is also a problem for Graham Finnegan. He orders coffee beans from Berlin and Barcelona and pays in euros. Foods like this fresh salmon come from the Republic of Ireland. He's unsure whether his suppliers will deliver after Brexit. But that's not his biggest worry.
For Irish people living on the border, I think that the real threat here isn't more expensive goods in the supermarket, but an actual threat to peace in this country.
Bronach McAtasney shares his concern. She experienced the bloody conflict in Northern Ireland, known as the Troubles, firsthand in the 1980s. Now she's tweeted excerpts of the diary she kept as a teenager.
Brexit is making people anxious. I think especially older people who lived through the Troubles and know what it's like. Part of us maybe wants to feel it can never really go back to that height of violence.
Bronach McAtasney wants to show us what happened back then. She says at one time, Newry had the highest rate of bomb attacks during the Troubles. More than 50 people were killed here. Today, it's hard to believe that Civil War-like conditions plagued the city.
All the shops were boarded up because you had to be very careful. They didn't attach bombs to the front of the shops. There was shootings on a pretty regular basis. Army patrols, army checkpoints.
Back at the cafe, Graham Finnegan's young son comes by after school. Graham hopes that his boy and other children in Newry will grow up in a united Europe, not a deeply divided United Kingdom.